Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to show you guys my personal battleground map for the 2020 presidential election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. You've seen me analyze a number of different forecasts, polling averages, and even my own personal EP forecast over the past few weeks, but I haven't shown you all my own 2020 election map in quite some time. Before we get into it, I wanted to remind you all to subscribe to the channel. We've grown exponentially in the last few days, and 50,000 subscribers is coming right up. The subscriber decided election night, as well as a full, real-time 2020 election night with mail-in balloting, delays included, are just around the corner, and my aim is to reach 100,000 subscribers by election day. I know it's an outlandish goal, but it would mean the world to me if we could make that happen. That being said, let's get right back to the video. I'll start out by labeling all of the states I believe to be safe for Joe Biden this November: Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii, New Mexico, Illinois, New York, Maine's 1st District will be safe, the state of Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. So this means I anticipate all 15 of these states to go in Biden's column by more than 12 points on election night. I'd imagine New Mexico, Oregon, and Maine's 1st District would be the closest of all of them as well. As for the states I believe to be safe for Donald Trump: Alaska, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska's 2 at-large electoral votes, as well as their 1st and 2nd districts, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, and West Virginia. These 18 states will go to Trump by safe numbers, with Alaska, Kansas, and Indiana being the closest of the bunch. With all of these states filled in though, Joe Biden has a significant advantage already at 188 electoral votes to Donald Trump's 103. The Democratic strongholds of California, Illinois, and New York have an understated impact on electoral politics in the US because of how easy they are to predict. But the formerly Republican strongholds of Virginia, Texas, and North Carolina have become swing states, and in Virginia's case, a near safe state for Democrats. This is really bad news for the Republican Party, and the Democrats should be extremely thankful for their strength in California, Illinois, and New York, which will certainly play a huge role in their candidates' highly favorable electoral college path for decades to come. In fact, if you add up those 3 states alone, they make up 104 electoral votes, which is more than all 18 of the Republican safe states combined. Nonetheless, let's move on to the likely states for Democrats: Colorado and Virginia. Both of these states went to Clinton by lean margins in 2016, but all signs are pointing towards an even bigger step to the left this year, and I am on board with that consensus opinion. As for Trump and his likely states: Montana, Missouri, and South Carolina. All 3 were safe states in 2016, but polling indicates a turn back in time to where they were still red states, just a lot closer. Although, if I had to put my money down on just one of these 3 states being likely, it would definitely be South Carolina, where Joe Biden's profound Democratic primary victory back earlier this year effectively won him the nomination. And we now have a 210 to 125 electoral college lead for Biden as we move into the states that actually have a chance at going in different directions: Nevada, Minnesota, Michigan, New Hampshire, and Maine's 2 at-large electoral votes all fall under lean blue. Michigan was the only one of the 4 that went to Trump in 2016, while the others Clinton just barely held on to. If you have been following forecasts and polling even the slightest bit, none of these states falling in as lean blue should come as any surprise. Nevada has stayed and is probably going to stay lean blue up until election day, as it was there in 2016, and no polling data has indicated a turn to the left or to the right thus far. Minnesota is the one state President Trump can point to as moving in the right direction for his campaign. Polling there has shown a dramatically tightening race to the surprise of many. And most forecasts now have Minnesota even with the likes of Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. However, this is not surprising to me in the slightest, because it's not just possible that Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania vote to the left of Minnesota, but actually very likely. Believe it or not, Minnesota, despite being the only state to vote for Hillary Clinton and hold up in her blue wall, voted the furthest to the right of the national popular vote. She received a higher percentage of the vote in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, which are all states that she lost. Wacky and weird, I know, but it is the case. So don't be at all surprised if Minnesota ends up being the closest state of them all. Now let's take a look at the lean red states. First off, we have Iowa, Ohio, and Texas. I've gone over these three states, which I call the red triangle, at length in previous videos, but in short, they represent the three states the party absolutely must hold on to this year and in elections to come if they want any shot at ever electing another Republican president. Not much is to be said about the data, other than that if President Trump doesn't get some kind of control over the pandemic and the economy, things could go from bad to worse for him. The other lean red classification I'm handing out is in Maine's 2nd District, where we obviously don't get a lot of polling data and are really just forced to go off of national polls and where it fell in 2016. Trump won by likely margins 4 years ago, but Biden is doing better nationally than Clinton, so lean it is. What's left for us are all of the battlegrounds, the states that are going to determine the winner of the most peculiar presidential election in recent memory. Arizona, Nebraska's 2nd District, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Setting Nebraska's 2nd aside, there is no doubt that these 6 states will command the most amount of attention from both campaigns and the media in the following months. In a normal campaign season, I would expect a ton of rallies in these states, but in Corona times, expect ad money to just be constantly pouring in. But I'm sure you are all asking, where do we go from here? What's the path for Joe Biden and Donald Trump to win in these battleground states? As of right now, Biden's path is a lot more realistic. His most feasible path would be to win in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, and he wouldn't even need to worry about anywhere else as he's already at 278. He could also just win in Florida and not care about any of the other states as well. Point is, there's a lot more scenarios that work out positively for him. If you're Trump, on the other hand, even if you manage to hold on to Arizona, Georgia, Florida, and North Carolina, you'd still need to either win Pennsylvania or win Wisconsin and Nebraska's first. Anyways, to wrap it up and long story short, he would have to win in all but one of the battlegrounds. Biden would only need to win one, more realistically two. But that does it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed my take and analysis. Please make sure to hit the big thumbs up like button down below to show me that you enjoy this type of content, as well as subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of my uploads in the future. Thank you all so much for watching, and tune in next time. EP out.